Welcome to Chris Horner's Motorcycle Essentials, and the 2021 250 XCW is decked out with all the protection gear. We got the TM design, rear disc and rear brake cover, fast away extended pegs. Folks, this is really the beautiful thing about these pegs. I got multiple bikes, and all of them except for my 450, because I don't ride the 450 that much, so I haven't got around to it. But all my other bikes all have the extended pegs on here. This is a beautiful lifesaver for the ankles. If you over jump something, if you jump off a ledge and you flat land the bike, this will really save the ankles. You don't even know it's there until you need it. So a beautiful design. I love the traction. I run the F7 cleats on here. They're the super sharp ones, and so I got great traction between my boot and the cleat for keeping on track. When I'm really in the rocks, it can be a little bit difficult at times because sometimes it holds the boot too good, where it's actually hard to slide the boot off the peg. But for the most part, I absolutely love the design of those pegs, and it's on basically every one of my bikes. Okay, up top we have the Voyager Pro GPS Unit. The main reason why I like this is because it links up with my other bikes, and so when I'm riding with my boy Garrett, we have a buddy system, and I can see where he is on the trail at all the time, so there's no more needing to have to stop and wait for it to have him catch up and wonder if he crashed back there or something. Instead, with the buddy system, it'll show up on my computer exactly if he's moving. If he does have a crash or an accident, he can even hit emergency button that'll flash red, and I know to come back and get him. So that is a great device. There's no more pausing on the trails, pulling out your map, looking at your map, trying to figure out where you are. If you got a GPS unit like the Voyager Pro, you always know where to go and you're never really lost. Misplaced is the most I get when I got my Voyager Pro on. So I love it. It's on multiple of my bikes, on all my trail bikes. My track bikes, you don't need it for, but on the trail bikes, it's a must-have. I love it. Okay, what do we got over here? On the front of the bike, protecting the front disc, it's a bullet design front disc guard. Also, it protects the end of the forks too, and then just a Serbies plastic piece here to protect the end, because I'm always slamming the bikes into the rocks, especially my 18-year-old. He is a bike destroyer. So if we don't have the protective parts on there, my boy Garrett will destroy all the bikes faster than you can get back home. Up top, I'm running the ARC clutch lever here. I don't have the front brake lever on just yet, but it's coming. It was the one piece that was back ordered, but I'll show you highlights of the clutch. These levers are fantastic. They give me good grip, and they're pretty bulletproof when it comes to crashing. I've never broken one yet, and like I said, we're in the rocks all the time. Okay, on the front brake here, brake lever, I got just an extended aluminum tip. It's really more for bling, but the extended part here is really good for finding that back brake when you're in an emergency situation. I love the extended part. It has a downside in terms of it does catch some rocks and it will bend up from time to time. So I have some issues, but I've never had it where I haven't been able to get home because of it bending yet. So that I like, but maybe we'll see when we get really into the rocks whether or not if I keep that extended tip on there or not. Carbon up case protector here for the clutch and all that stuff. It's really good design. I've seen a lot of reports on it. I haven't broken one up, so I have to test that and see when I actually get really good on the rocks. At this moment, it looks nice. All the reports on it show it's going to hold up, but a personal experience with it, I haven't had any yet to date of really slamming it against a rock. Spark arrestor on the end. Everything on the pipe here is stock still. No reason to replace the pipe and the muffler just yet, just because between the silencer and the pipe, you're gonna bend these and break these at some point in time, so you might as well just bend the original one before you go put a FMF or some other exhaust system on there that's gonna cost you $300, $400, $500 total. You might as well go ahead and destroy that because it's coming. I've yet to get through any of these two strokes without having to replace a pipe for damage. A lot of people run a cover over the pipe. I don't know. To me, I honestly think when the bike lands on the ground, something's got to give. So if it doesn't give right here and put a dent right here or right here or right here, well, then it's going to have to bend somewhere else. and I don't want the pipe to bend down by the engine where it's attached going in there and then have to do some damage to the engine and replace that. I'd rather just replace pipes every 4 to 6 months, whatever it is, depending on how lucky we get during that period or how good our riding skills have become. On the end Fastway exhaust tip right here, so it's spark legal and keeps us forest approved, all that stuff. I have had issues with these clogging up on my TX300, 2020 TX300 TPI. Have had the tip get clogged up and stop the bike from running. So keep that in mind. If you do go with a spark arrestor from Fastway, it's a really simple. You just unscrew these 2 bolts right here. This tip will pop off, you pull the screen out, and then you have to clean the screen occasionally to keep it running crisp and clean. If you don't clean it, like I said, it will stop the bike. We've had it do it. So keep that in mind. If your bike's not running good and you have one of the Fastway spark arrestor tips on here, you got to keep the screen clean. I do like the design. I think it looks beautiful. I own multiple of these, so I'm very happy with it, but it does take a little bit of maintenance. Just got to pull the 2 screws off, clean the screen, keep that up to date. Everything else, the main thing, and this is what I really want to discuss today, I'm running mooses. So I change out the AT81s. I run an AT81 EX gummy tire on the back with a moose. Okay, I've ran tubeless, I've ran normal tubes, heavy duty tubes, and I've run mooses. I love the moose. It works fantastic. Tubeless is an amazing design. It gives you great traction, but eventually you're gonna have problems. And once you have problems with it, it costs you a ride, a week to get it fixed. You run a moose in there, folks, and you never have to worry about it. I don't have to check air pressure. I don't have to worry about going through the rocks. I don't have to worry about slitting and cutting the tire up on some sharp edges or something. With a moose, you got no maintenance when you leave the truck, and you're always gonna get back to the truck. It's not gonna be your tires or your tubes that let you down. In the past, I ran heavy duty tubes, and honestly, I haven't had much problems with a heavy duty tube. I just always in the back of my mind when we're going through a rocky section, you're always wondering when you're 20 miles away from the truck if you're still gonna get back or if a flat tire is gonna cost you something. With the moose, you get great traction, durability is amazing, and you always get back to the truck. My absolute favorite was a tubeless in terms of traction, but I damaged my wheel with it, then it leaked all the time. When I've ran tubes, I like the feeling of a tube, but I just don't like the reliability of it. Mooses are the way to go. In my experience, we've been running them. All the pros run them. They're fantastic. They cost more, I know. You probably get about 2 or 3 tires out of them, and then you got to replace the moose again, and each moose is $150. So you're talking $300 in mooses, plus you're talking about $200, $250 in tires. And if you're running a gummy like I am, you're going through the tires. Could be 10 hours. Usually we get about 20. My boy on the 300, when he's really in the rocks, he'll tear up the mooses incredibly fast. And so we're lucky if we get 10 or 15 out of them before we got to replace the moose. So I understand why people don't run the gummy tire. I called it a moose, but I understand why they don't run the gummy tire just in terms of cost. But even when those things are worn down 50% of tread, they're still getting better traction on the rocks than a brand new tire. So I love a gummy on my 2-strokes. I run a standard AT81 or an MX33 on my 4-stroke enduro bikes and my track bikes. But on the 2-stroke bikes, when we're in the rock, nothing beats a gummy. The traction's amazing, and nothing beats running a moose. Reliability, again, is number one, and you can always get back to the truck. Hope you guys like the look of the bike. We're gonna go get her dirty now and really break her in. Like I said, stay tuned. Like, subscribe to the channel. We're gonna do a 20-hour review here really soon, and then hopefully get up to that 50-hour mark in the next few months here, so we can come back and I can show you exactly how well this 2021 250 XCW is holding up to my 18-year-old and myself. Hope you enjoy the channel. Like and subscribe. All right, guys, 2 other things I forgot. Super important, of course, is the skid plate. It's made by AXP. My other bikes, normally I run SXS skid plate, but this is an AXP because that's what they had in stock and they could get it here soonest. The skid plate, one of the most important pieces for protection on your bike. Of course, it was stupid of me to forget that. So there you go. And also the bulletproof orange radiator guards on the front. I forgot that. We have broken some radiators before, so it's an important piece. Hopefully that keeps that from happening again. All right, hope you like the B footage of the riding. They're good.